Good morning, students. Welcome to 7th Standard Science Online class. Today we are going to discuss about lesson 9 soil. What is soil? The upper layer of earth is soil. In soil only we are living, isn't it? No. So soil is made up of humus. Humus means the organic material such as decayed plants and animals. Soil has air, water and many kinds of microorganisms present in soil. The nature of soil is differ from place to place. Yes. Then next one, plant where it is present. Plants present only in soil. Plants depend on soil for support and nutrients needed for their growth. In this lesson, we will learn about formation, constituents, soil profile, types, properties, soil conservation. Conservation means protection. Under that one, we are going to see two topics: cover crops, shelter belts. Soil is an important natural resource. Resource means wealth. Soil is the major part of the natural environment. Soil contains mainly mineral materials, organic materials, air and water. Many microscopic organisms, micro means small organism, present in soil. So, soil is home to many living things. Okay, children? Especially earthworm. Earthworm are considered as friend of farmers. Earthworm are considered as friend of farmers. Why means because it penetrates into the soil and loosen it, thereby increasing water holding capacity in the soil. Earthworm excreta increases soil fertility. Excreta means waste material and also help in decomposing animals and plants. Next, soil formation. Soil formation begins with weathering of bedrock. How does soil form? In the beginning, the entire surface of the earth was covered with rocks. During the day, the sun warmed the surface, and at night, the surface cooled down. Due to repeated heating and cooling, the rocky surface of the earth develops rocks. It takes a long time for soil to form. Soil forms as rocks is broken down by weathering and mixes with other materials on the surface. So, the action of natural factors that lead to breaking of rocks into smaller pieces is known as weathering. What does mean by weathering? The action of natural factors that leads to breaking of rocks. Rocks is broken down into smaller pieces. That is known as weathering. Soil is constantly being formed every time bedrock is exposed. Over time, soil develops layer. We call these layers as horizons. Formation of soil is an ongoing process. This process is being formed even today also. Next, we are going to discuss about soil profile. Soil is not just what you see on the surface. It stretches up to several feet below the ground level. It is made up of number of layers. The thickness of these layers varies from place to place. Each layer of soil is called a soil horizon. What is a soil profile? A soil profile is a vertical cross section of layer of soil. Mostly, soil have three major horizons A, B, C, and some have an organic horizon, that is O. O made up of humus or organic matter. Main horizon of the soil: horizon A, horizon B, horizon C. Horizon A is the uppermost layer of soil. It is also called as topsoil. This soil is made up of sand, silt and clay. Many kinds of soil organism present in this layer. Next one, horizon B. Below horizon A, horizon B is present. This layer is harder region. In this layer, it contains a large amount of pebbles. This layer contains very little organic material or humus. Root of trees and shrubs are present in this layer. This layer is also called the subsoil. Next one, horizon C. Horizon C is substratum. The lowermost layer of soil is horizon C. It contains mostly large pieces of rocks. Hardly any roots penetrate this layer. Below horizon C is the hard layer of rocks, that is or bedrocks. That is why it is difficult to dig beyond this level. Next, we are going to discuss about types of soil. Depending on the amount of sand, silt, clay and humus, the topsoil can be divided into many types: sandy, silty, clayey, gravel and loamy soil. Sandy soil. This soil is mainly made up of sand. The soil is coarse. Sand grains form large spaces between the particles. This makes sandy soil very porous and water moves rapidly through it, which is why sandy soil dries quickly. Sandy soil does not hold water. It has only little plant nutrients and fewer soil organism is present. Hence, it is not suitable for growing crops. Sandy soil is porous and does not hold water. Only xerophytic plants adapted to survive with very little water grow in sandy soil. Which plant will grow in sandy soil? Yes, xerophytic plants. Next, we are going to discuss about clayey soil. This soil contains at least 30% of clay particles. Clayey soil rich in minerals, many of which are used by the plants. Dry clay is smooth and grey. Clay particles are very small and flat in shape. These particles overlap each other to form soil which is very dense and less porous. As a result, clayey soil gets easily waterlogged during the rainy season. So, clayey soil is suitable for paddy cultivation. Loamy soil. This type of soil contains an equal amount of sand and silt and lesser amount of clay. It is also has a good amount of humus. Humus means organic matter. It is mostly dark brown and appears slightly coarse. Loamy soil holds a good amount of air and water. The high content of humus also support a rich variety of soil organism, which keeps the soil fertile. Some of these organisms convert nitrogen from the air into plant nutrients. All these features make loamy soil ideal for growing crops. So, from this we understood plants grow well in loamy soil. Next, silty soil. Silt particles are smaller than sand but much larger than the clay particles. The space between silt particles are not too small. These space hold water but also allow water to percolate. Hence, although it remains moist for longer time, silty soil does not get waterlogged easily. Silty soil also has a good amount of minerals. So, always silty soil, it remains moist for a longer time. Properties of the different kinds of soil. Soil has space between its particles known as pore space. Soil has spaces, isn't it? No. So that spaces is called as pore space. Pore space is very important property. This pore space is very important of soil. Why means it contain water, air, and flow of water through the soil depend on the pore space of the soil. Next, we are going to discuss about absorption of water by the soil. What is meant by absorption? Absorption means uptake of water. So, uptake of water by plants is called absorption of water. Plant absorb water. How it will absorb? Through its root hairs. So, root take up water from the soil and passes to stem. From stem, it enters into leaves. The extra water evaporates and returns to the atmosphere, and some it percolates into the soil. So this makes the soil moist. Moist means it contains water. The ability of the soil to retain water is known as water holding capacity. What is meant by water holding capacity? The ability of the soil to retain water is known as water holding capacity. The moisture, moist means I said water, isn't it? No. The moisture, water content of the soil depend on its water holding capacity. So, plants absorb dissolved nutrients along with water. Soil and crops. Plants grow well in soil which has good amount of plant nutrients. Retains water but does not get waterlogged easily. Loamy soil has all these features. Loamy soil is a mixture of sand, soil and silt. Silt particles are present between the sand and soil particles. It also contains humus and is therefore considered the best for the growth of plants. Mainly onion, garlic, pulses, wheat, maize grow well in loamy soil. Next, clayey soil. Clayey soil is made up of relatively higher proportions of fine particles. Unlike sandy soil, these soil have very less space. Compared to loamy soil, it contains very less space between particles because the particles are very smaller in size. Water can be trapped the tiny gaps between them. Clay soils are heavy and hold more water. So, it is ideal for growing paddy and wheat. Different parts of our country have different types of soil. The climate too is not the same in all parts of our country, isn't it? No. Some parts are warm and some parts are cold and some have plenty rainfall, isn't it? So rainfall also varies from region to region. Climate also varies from region to region. The climatic factors such as rainfall, temperature and types of soil of a region determines the types of crops that can be grown in the region. Next, we will discuss about soil conservation. Soil conservation means prevention of loss of the topmost layer of the soil from erosion. Conservation means protection. Erosion means eradicating from one place to other place. How the soil is erosion takes place? By wind and water. Method for soil conservation. We usually use two methods for conservation: cover crops, shelter belts. Cover crop means the force of the wind and flowing water can be reduced by growing cover crops. Cover crops. A cover crop is grown to cover the land after harvesting the main crop. Cover crops prevent soil from being exposed to wind and flowing water. Second one, shelter belts. The force of wind and water can also be reduced by growing trees and shrubs on the boundaries of field. That is called as shelter belts. By using these two methods, we can protect soil from erosion. Next, we will discuss about how we can improve growth of plants. Yes, by using fertilizers. Fertilizers is an organic or inorganic material of natural or synthetic origin that is added to soil to supply one or more plant nutrients and also essential to growth of plants. Mainly, fertilizer increases the food productivity. If chemical fertilizer uses excessive means it reduces the fertility of the soil. It makes the soil hard and less porous. It kills soil organism. The effect of chemical fertilizers can be reduced by using organic materials like compost and natural fertilizers made out of plants and animal waste. Easy way to improve soil fertility. Compost improves the quality of soil. It loosens the soil and helps air and water to move more freely. It holds moisture. Moisture means water content and plant nutrients. It also serves as food for soil microorganisms which make the soil fertile. We have to avoid chemical fertilizers. We have to use more amount of organic fertilizers. If we use more organic fertilizers means we can protect the soil. We make the soil fertile. Thank you students. That's all, this lesson over.